Hey, good morning everyone. Welcome to Bret's Table. Today we're going to be making a Béchamel sauce, which is one of the 5 classic French mother sauces. The other ones are a velouté, which is made with chicken stock instead of milk, or an espagnole, which is made with brown stock, like a veal stock or a beef stock. Then we have a hollandaise, which is thickened with egg yolks and butter. And finally, a tomato sauce, which we're probably most familiar with, like a marinara that we serve with pasta. So today, hello Stephanie. Hi Jane. So let's get started here. So what I have already in the pot is some milk. We've got 1.5 cups of milk with a half an onion, which I have pierced with 4 whole cloves. Also in the milk, I've got some white peppercorns, a little bit of salt, and we're going to finish it off with some nice Swiss Gruyere, which I already have grated. And then if we have time, I will make some another crepe, which I have over here. I made some crepes this morning so that I can use the leftover bechamel to make some mushroom duxelle, which I'll add to the bechamel, and then we will fill the crepes with it. So let's get started. So I'm gonna heat the pan here. Yep. So I've got 40 grams of butter, and there's various recipes where it says 2 to 1, 2 parts flour to 1 part butter, but I'm doing equal amounts of butter and flour just because it's easier to remember. So we're going to melt this butter in this pan. So while it's melting, if anybody has any questions, hello Fred. While the butter is melting, we'll see if I can answer it. So hopefully everybody's doing okay, surviving our sequestering here. It's a beautiful day outside. So just melting the butter. And then we'll be adding all the flour at once as soon as I get my butter melted. Also, you can see that I've blanched some beautiful asparagus, which I'm going to be using some of the bechamel. Actually, we're making 2 sauces today. The first one here is the bechamel, and then as soon as I add the cheese, then it becomes a Mornay sauce. So our butter's melted, so I'm adding all the flour at once, turning the heat down. And this is what I use to make a gravy for Thanksgiving, but instead of using butter, I'll use the fat from what the turkey was cooked in. And the trick is to cook this butter in flour long enough to get rid of the flour taste. And what we're making right now is a roux. And we want, in this case, to keep it white. If I was going to make a gumbo, then I would be cooking this for quite some time until it gets a nice mahogany color in order to make gumbo. So we're going to cook this for a little bit longer. I've got my timer going on my stove. I think everybody can see that. So I'm on low here because I don't want to have any color in my roux. I want to keep it as a white sauce. So Yes, a hollandaise sauce is one type of sauce, and a marinara is another type of sauce, Keith. Marinara, also called the tomato sauce. So I'm going to continue cooking my roux for another minute. Just keep going here. You don't want to walk away. You want to keep whisking so that nothing turns brown or, God forbid, burns on us. And I'm still figuring out this Facebook Live. I'm not sure that this is public right now, so it may just be friends. So when I save it, I will make it public if it's not already. All right, so we've got our sauce. So what I'm going to do is strain my milk mixture here, and I don't want to use it all. I'm just going to put in some of it. And stir this. Continue cooking, making sure I get everything incorporated, and then add a little more. And whisk the heck out of it. And then add the rest of it. And then keep stirring. So we're going to let this cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. Whisking constantly so that the roux gets incorporated with the milk. And you can use bechamel. This works if you were making chicken wild rice soup, or this is the base for savory souffles. It's great. It's what we use to make macaroni and cheese. If you're not using what's out of the box, this is something my mom taught me way a long time ago. This is how she made her macaroni and cheese. We never had something out of the box. So Mom always made a classic white sauce. Didn't know it was called bechamel at the time. So see, we keep whisking so that we don't have any lumps. Is it wrong to just pour it in a cup and drink it straight? No, it's not wrong. Not at all, Jane. So we're going to keep whisking here for another minute. And then I'm going to turn the heat off and add, I've got about 2 cups of beautiful Gruyere cheese here, and I'm going to take fresh nutmeg and just grate some nutmeg into our sauce. It's kind of a classic addition, fresh nutmeg into this. So we're going to whisk this together. And I'm actually going to add a little more milk because it's a little thick this morning for what I'm using. So always, recipes are a guide that you have to adapt based on what you're actually using it for. So that's it. That's how you make a bechamel. It's as easy as that. So I've got some asparagus here, like I said, that have blanched. So I'm just going to top it with some of the bechamel, or now it's now la mornay, and you can put as little or as much as you want on this. So then I've got some breadcrumbs that I'm going to add to this. And then I'm gonna pop this in the oven. So in 20 minutes, I'll take a picture of it and post it. So let me show you, since we have some time, and I've already made my crepe batter. Let me see if I can do this. So get that out of the way. So I'm gonna heat my crepe pan. I made some clarified butter this morning. Wash my hands over here. So I'm going to take a little bit of butter and heat it up. Make sure I stir my crepe batter, because oftentimes the flour tends to collect on the bottom. Make sure my pan's nice and hot. And see if I can do this on camera. Can everybody see? And if it's too much, you just pour it back into the pan. Remind us what the clarified butter is. Clarified butter is basically you melt butter and the protein rises to the top, the milk solids fall to the bottom of the pan, and you skim off the proteins off the top. It's a white foam that you skim off, and then when you pour it into another container, you leave the milk solids on the bottom. Oftentimes you'll have a recipe, like a butter recipe, that calls for a brown butter. So in that case, you want to brown the milk solids that are left on the bottom, and when you do that, you'll have a nice nutty smell. The butter smells nutty, and that's a good thing. That browning of the milk solids produces a lot of flavor. So it just depends. And the reason that you use clarified butter is that it has a higher smoke point. So, which means that you can have a higher temperature before it starts burning. So that's the reason that you clarify butter. So does anybody else have any questions? Katie, Keith, thanks for watching this morning. So there is our crepe ready to go. So what I'll do is add some of the bechamel, and actually before I add that, I'm actually going to make what's called duxelle, which is finely diced mushrooms with a shallot and maybe a little reduction from white wine. And we cook that down in some butter until it gets really dry. And then I'll fold that into the bechamel, or Mornay in this case, and then we'll put it into my crepe, fold it up, put it on a sheet pan, freeze it, and so I will, when I'm ready to enjoy those, I will take a couple out, saute it in butter, have a salad with it, a glass of rosé, and there is dinner for the rest of this month where we're all eating by ourselves. So if you have any questions, give me a shout through Facebook, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. So thanks for joining me, and you all have a great day. So talk to you soon. Bye. Finish.